Hi everyone, this is Helloangel.design. Today I'm going to show you how I made this cute top for kids. It's an easy tutorial. I will take you step by step on how you can achieve this. This is how a finally look. You can see that for the armhole there is 2 stitches, and also the neckline there is also 2 stitches. At the center bar, you can see has a button loop. You don't have to stitch 2 stitches at the armhole or even at the neckline. This is me just trying to do something different. So if you're making a top or a dress, sometimes you want to make something different from what you have been making. Top that I make right here is for 2 to 3. I will explain more details about the pattern paper when I'm going to start making the top. Don't forget, watch the tutorial to the end so that you can learn 1 or 2 things from this video. If my tutorial has been helpful, don't forget to thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click that red button that says subscribe, and let's get started. I have cut my fabric ready. This is my both front and back fabric, my bias binding, my button loop is right here, my button, so I'm using green button for this top, and my label Helloangel.design. If you don't, you can just make it like that, but if you have, don't forget to add 1. So this is my pattern paper. I just want to explain how you can make yours. So if you're making a pattern paper, I have shown how to make pattern paper on my channel. Please, I'll put the link down below so that you can go and watch the video. You're making a top for 2 to 3 years old. So the length of my top is 16 inch. From the side of the armhole, remember to add ease so that it's easy for the child to put on. And for the bottom, also add ease. So for me, for the bottom of my top is 7.5 inch. So remember to add ease. So you just take your ruler from the armhole and connect it down to the bottom of the top that you're making. So once you have done that, I first of all cut the back pattern paper before cutting the front. So this is the front, while this is the back. So what I did, once I cut out the back, take my scissors, just cut it a little pieces, and I fold it inside like this. So I just fold it inside and then place my front pattern paper on my fabric and then cut it out. And I also do the same thing for the neckline. I don't want to have 2 pattern paper. That is why I did it like that. So you can also make yours like that. Instead of making 2 pattern paper, you can just make 1 pattern paper and use it for both front and back. Remember, make sure your fabric is unfold when you're cutting out your pattern. First thing that you have to do, you open your fabric. This is the front. And then you take the back pieces of your fabric. This is the back. So what you're going to do, you put them together. Make sure both front fabric are facing each other. Put them together. You're going to pin the both shoulder seam together. You take your pin, go ahead and pin the both shoulder seam of your top together. I have pinned the both shoulder seam together. The next thing that you have to do, take it to your sewing machine, stitch the both shoulder seam. My seam allowance is 1 centimeter. Once you have done top stitching, you can either take it to your overlocker, overlock the raw edges, or use zigzag to overlock the raw edges. So go ahead and top stitch the both shoulder seam together. I have stitched my both shoulder seam together. This is how it is. I just open my top. So this is the back of my top, and this is my back top right here that is facing me. So what you're going to do, you take your ruler or your measuring tape, place it at the top right here, measure 4¼ inch. Take your ruler and your marker, give it a mark. So this is my 4¼ inch right here. If you're using centimeter, place your measuring tape, measure 10½ centimeter. Do the same thing, take your ruler and your marker, give it a mark. So what you're going to do, from that center that you mark before. So you place your measuring tape again, measure 0.5 centimeter. You come down to this other side, measure 0.5 centimeter. Take your ruler, make sure you give it a mark all the way down. Instead of measuring it all the way down like a square, so you place your ruler, measure like a triangle like this. So I will just take my scissors and cut it out so that you can see how I measure mine. So this is how I cut it right now. So you place your scissors and you cut it like this, and then you place your scissors and you cut it like this. So this is how it will look once you cut the center back. You can see the little triangle right here. So this is how it will look. So the next thing that we have to do, we are going to use bias binding to bind the neckline first before binding the center back. So what you're going to do, I fold my bias binding into two like this. Instead of folding the raw edges inside, I just fold it into two. The width of my bias binding is 1¼ inch. So if you're using centimeter, I will just place my measure. If you're using centimeter, cut 3½ centimeter. Fold it into two. If you want to fold the raw edges inside, you can also do the same. Once you have done that, don't forget your button loop. This is my button loop. The length of my button loop that I have here, the length is 6½ centimeter. The width is 2 centimeter. If you're using inches, cut 2½ inch, and the width is 0.75 inch. Fold the raw edges inside, and then fold it again, and then fold it all over, and this is how it is. Take it to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch all the way down. Once you have stitched that, then you take your top neckline, place your bias binding like this. Just go ahead and pin around the neckline. I have pinned around the neckline. The next thing that you have to do, take it to your sewing machine, stitch it all the way down. My seam allowance is 1 centimeter. Once you have done that, then you can understitch the bias binding. So I will show you how to stitch that on my sewing machine. So go ahead and use bias binding to bind the neckline of your top. I have stitched the front neckline. This is how it is. The next thing for we to do is to stitch the center back. So you just open your top like this. We are going to stitch the center back. I've also stitched my button loop on the center back. So this is my bias binding. The width is 2 centimeter. Place it like this. You're just going to pin it all around the center back. So go ahead and pin it all around. I have pinned around the center back. The next thing that you have to do, take it to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch all around. My seam allowance is 0.5 centimeter. So once you have done stitching, remember to leave a little bit of excess at the top right here, so that when you're stitching, you just fold it over like this. Stop, stitch it all around, and then fold it once, not twice this time. You're going to fold it once and then give it a top stitch all over again. So go ahead and use bias binding to bind the center back of your top that you're making, and also go ahead and bind the both armhole together. I have stitched the center back of my top. This is how it is. You can see that at the end of the center back is curved. It's like a U instead of four corner. So you can see how it is right here. You can also see that I have stitched the armhole. I've also used my bias binding to stitch the armhole. I haven't finished yet because I have to fold it inside and then top stitch again. I want to stitches at the armhole just like at the neckline. So the next thing that you have to do, you're going to turn your dress inside out. Just turn it inside out. I want to put the both sides seam together, stitch it first before finished my armhole top that I'm making. So put them together like this, both sides seam of the top together. Just go ahead and pin them in place. I have pinned the both sides seam together. The next thing that you have to do, take it to your sewing machine, stitch the both sides seam. My seam allowance is 1 centimeter. Once you have done that, you can also take it to your overlocker, overlock the raw edges, or use zigzag to overlock the raw edges. Once you have stitched your both sides seam together, use that opportunity to finish the armhole. Just go ahead and fold your armhole, bias binding inside and top stitch. So go ahead and stitch them in place. I have stitched the both side seam of the top together. This is how it is. And I also stitched the both armhole of the top. I used the opportunity to hem the top all around. This is how it finally look. If you're hemming your top, fold inside 1 centimeter in top stitch. If you're using inches, fold inside 1/2 inch and top stitch. Your kids can wear this top on a skirt, on the jeans, on a shirt, on anything. It's really easy to make and very quick to make. This is my tutu skirt that I make yesterday. So if a kid is going to wear a top like this, he can wear the top on tutu skirt, he can wear the top on a jeans, he can wear the top on anything. You can see how it is. It's really beautiful. I hope you try this out. If you don't know how to make tutu skirt, I have made tutu skirt on my video. So the video that I make, it's multicolor tutu skirts. So this one I just make it yesterday. It's for 2 to 3 years old child also. So if you're making a top, just make it together. It's really cute. The kids will love it. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Make a comment down below if you have any questions. If my tutorial is being helpful, thumbs up, and have a blessed day. Bye.